We got some awesome questions lined up, so put some more down below. Let's get this Q&A started. Hey Alex, what's your thoughts on doing a weighted stretch at the bottom of a push-up? You won't get that much weight on, but would it work? It would work. The way to execute this is through deficit push-ups. And the way that you're going to accomplish this is by adding blocks to where your hands are placed while having a weight plate on your back. So you go at the bottom of the push-up, it'll be increased range of motion, similar to a cambered bar on the bench press. Your chest will not be touching the ground, so you get that nice weighted stretch. And you can do holds, right? What I would recommend is doing 3-second pauses, 3 5-second pauses, followed by your concentric. How have you personally used the Wim Hof methods for lifting? Well, I've used it before max effort attempts, and I really do find that it makes a difference. Like when you use the Wim Hof method, where you're doing all these deep breaths, man, and you stand up, it's like, whoa. It's like there's a feeling, it's very hard to explain. You have to try it out. Many would describe it as being high. I've never been high, so I can't speak on that part, but it's like euphoric. It's a very strange feeling, but I find that I'm stronger, and also I could hold my breath for longer, like way, way, way longer than if I don't use the method. Usually I'll be in like this bliss type of mood, and I walk up to the bar, and I'll get a PR, man, like a serious PR. I would compare it to ammonia. It's like a drug-free ammonia. Like, you know when you take those smelling salts out of meat or even before having a big lift, like, I try not to mess with that stuff. I did experiment with it because I got them for free when I did the bench meet. But I find that the Wim Hof method is equally as effective without getting those horrible side effects and even the smell. And it's obviously not bad for your health either. So I like the Wim Hof for hyping up. Every time I've used it, bro, it makes a big, big, big difference. So what I'll do is I'll lie down on the floor, like right next to this freaking power rack, and I'll take 30 like deep breaths, Wim Hof style, man. And then I go in, smash those PRs. So it works really, really good for hyping up. What separates beginner, novice, intermediate, advanced, elite athletes when it comes to calisthenics? Great question. I would say it comes down to a few different factors. Number one would be the moves that you're able to perform. Obviously, if you're only doing regular push-ups, that might be considered beginner level. Whereas if you're doing one-arm push-ups, it's obviously higher. It could even be going from like basic calisthenics moves to advanced moves like planches and stuff like that. So I would separate it based off the moves. How advanced are the moves, you know? I would also base it off the sets and reps that you're using and whether or not you're doing it weighted, okay? So if you're doing weighted calisthenics, like you got 160 pounds down your waist, 180 pounds, well, obviously that's advanced compared to a guy who can only do chin-ups with his body weight. So we have to factor in like how heavy are you going on the calisthenics? And then for a final thing is what type of strength training system are you able to get away with? Does basic linear progression work? I mean, it's similar to weight training. When your linear progression ceases, you're an intermediate lifter, right? So maybe we can make that same distinction with calisthenics. Just because there aren't a lot of athletes using periodization for it doesn't mean the same rules wouldn't apply. So it's kind of like that, those 3 little things that I talked about. If you're doing weighted calisthenics or not, the sets and reps that you're using, the advanced moves, and then, of course, the strength training strategies that you're able to get away with. So that's kind of how I would define it. I hope that makes sense. Hello from South Africa. Awesome. How fast, much will you lose mass in the neck if you stop training neck directly? You'll lose it pretty quickly, man. Based off my experience, man, if you stop training neck, you'll hit pencil status in no time. Or maybe not pencil status, but you'll easily lose an inch or two, right? Like hardcore, your neck will go down in size if you stop training it. Don't listen to these minimalist guys who say, only do deadlifts and rows, your neck's gonna be fine. No, it won't be. If you built your neck through direct work and you got it to like a great level and then you stop training completely, you're gonna lose a lot of size, man. The only people who maintain their size are those who never did neck training to begin with. On average, typically speaking. I know there are outliers, so I don't want to hear that, but if you stop training your neck, you lose it. Like if you go from 90-pound neck curls for 100 reps to doing bodyweight neck curls or even 25-pound neck curls, you think your neck's not going to shrink? It's like any other muscle group, bro. You stop training the neck, it shrinks in size. So you'll notice that maybe after the 3-month mark, you're going to see the size goes down. Now that said, the good news is that you can easily maintain your neck. If you train it at least once a week, you're happy with the size, you train it once a week, you'll maintain your neck. So don't stop it completely. Always do some type of work. And it doesn't mean you have to be at peak performance all the time. It just means you want to stimulate your neck. So if you don't want to go heavy, well, you can do like just high reps, you know. That works just fine. But don't just quit it completely, because in a few months, you will see the measurements going down. I'm telling you from experience. I'm telling you from what I've witnessed among hundreds of people who reported this to me as well. Like, I have people who've tried this. They want to be lazy like me. They tried it out. They lost neck size. So let's not look at genetic elites or people who are taking roids. Let's look at real naturals who train their necks, who built it to a large amount, and then stopped and lost gains. All right? Is it possible to have bad genetics for strength and good genetics for muscle? Interesting little question. I suppose it would be possible, but unlikely. Usually, if a guy has good genes for like building a lot of muscle, he can put on good strength as well. But it could be that the person's nervous system is not on the same level, or he just has really, really bad leverages for certain movements, therefore rendering his performance very low. Yet he has a muscular appearance. So there are certainly guys who pack on muscle very easily. You've seen tons of people who don't have to get that strong. There are some people who they're benching 225 and they already have 18-inch arms. Then you got a guy like me with a 365 bench. Arms are a tad over 16. That's genetics coming into play. I'm not trying to make excuses, but it is what it is. So you have people who have better genetics for strength. Some are better genetics for muscle. So if you're gaining all this muscle, but your strength is not on point, or maybe your leverages are subpar, maybe your nervous system is not the best, you know? I don't know what it could be. But this is just a hypothetical question anyway. I would say most people who have big muscles are going to be stronger. Unless they're on roids. Then we see some exceptions. How long would you recommend a conjugate training cycle before a testing phase? As long as you want, my friend. I would say every 3 months is a very good rule of thumb. You could base it off that. So you build your strength for 3 months and then test it out. Some guys like to do it more frequently. They'll test like their raw bench, for example, on the 4th week. So after every dynamic effort cycle, they'll do a raw bench. So a setup might be bench with the mini bands, monster mini bands. Then you do a dead bench. And then the 4th week, you do a regular competition bench. Then you repeat the cycle. That's something that could work, you know. So every 4 weeks, every 3 months. The beauty with this system is that you can really test it whenever you want. I mean, when you go test it, it'll be higher. So you can extend that for months and months on end. So you do whatever you want, my friend. You could be a little bit more frequent, be a bit more infrequent. Whatever you choose. Bro, what do you think of the anti-nutrients in plants that are actually prevent a lot of absorption of various nutrients and vitamins, even if the meal was nutrient dense? Also, do you eat much cholesterol? Your body may make some, but as lifters, we burn through resources quicker. Okay. Well, the whole anti-nutrient scare, a lot of that information has already been debunked. Like, there's an author who wrote a book on it, and he's been heavily criticized for this by various experts in the field. So I'm not going to talk about that too much, but it's not really of great concern. If the anti-nutrients were that bad, then why do we have all these studies demonstrating that consuming these foods extends longevity, that has a lower risk of developing all kinds of different diseases? So beans are very good for you, for example. Your dark leafy greens are great. A lot of these plants that contain anti-nutrients are some of the most health-impacting foods you'll ever find. Know for a fact that a whole food plant-based diet is the only diet shown to actually reverse heart disease. So there's so many benefits. The research is very clear, and people who talk about the anti-nutrients are usually misinformed about all the other benefits that exist. Now, in regards to cholesterol, no, I don't really have any, man. The only time is if I have a cheat meal once in a blue moon. Okay, if I go out, I pretty much eat what I want, although maybe I'll stop doing that soon. But at home, I don't consume any cholesterol, bro. I eat whole food, plant-based. I don't buy that stuff over here. I don't remember the last time I had an egg. Even milk, like I can't even look at milk anymore, bro. It just makes me sick to my stomach just looking at it. I haven't had that in probably like close to a year, I would say close to a year, and I don't want to go back to it. In regards to cholesterol, I don't consume it, and a whole food plant-based diet is adequate for all stages of life, including among athletes. So this idea that you need more cholesterol is, I don't really believe in that. Your body makes enough. And those are my thoughts on that. And just so we're clear, by the way, I don't have any nutritional biases. I have none, okay? If I found out that consuming these products were the healthiest on the planet, I would be eating it today. I've always been objective. When looking at the research, I've seen all sides. So I don't want anybody pulling that card that I'm biased, because I'm really not. I promise you that I'm one of the few guys out there who has no nutritional biases, like at all. My neck looks good from the front, but looks skinny from the back. The upper portion of my neck on the two muscles on the side is the one that has gained the most mass, if not all, and not the lower. How can I make gains in the lower portion? Man, I only do neck curls and conjugate style. That's the problem, man. You've only been doing neck curls. It pretty much answers it right there. You need to do some neck extensions. This is the missing key to the puzzle here, all right? You've been lacking, my friend. You've been lacking. So start doing those neck extensions, and also work on those upper traps more. That's probably another thing that's contributing to that skinnier looking neck from the back. Like when you turn around, your neck should look really wide, you know? Like for me, I would say I'm more like that. Like now you can't really see it because my hair's covering, but when I had like the bald head and all that, you would see like the neck was wide from the back and the upper traps would be popping out. So you need to do more neck extensions, more upper trap work. This is what's going to fix your problem, 100% guaranteed. Hey Alex, what are your thoughts on juicy guys that are honest about their status? Well, I made a video about this called Reuters that I respect, and I pretty much have no issue with these dudes. If you're honest about your usage, I'm not going to talk trash, all right? I may not agree with the decision that you've done, but hey, you're not deceiving anyone. You're legit. You're real. Hey, you do your thing, man. It takes a lot of balls to come out like that, especially with all the stigma surrounding it. So when you're really open about your usage, it makes me respect you more. Like honest people, I can respect. So I got no issues with that, but I don't agree with the decision, all right? Yo, Alex, you ever think about tanning? Seems like it would be a good illusion strategy. It would be a illusion strategy, but I don't really tan that much, man. If I go out, my skin will get a little bit darker, but not more than that. Like this is pretty much me in a tanned state, quote unquote. I went out a lot this summer. I just, it doesn't happen. And I'm not going to go in these tanning beds either because I believe there are risks associated with that. So I'm not interested, just to look a little bit better. Health is more important to me than your stupid looks. So, but that said, yeah, tanning is a great illusion strategy, and people with darker skin will definitely look leaner. Okay, and this is especially beneficial if you're in a bare mode state. Like the darker you are, the more muscle definition you could see for the most part, and even in a bare mode state, it is beneficial in creating false definition. You look leaner when you're darker. It's just one of those things. So yeah, it is a good illusion strategy. That's why they call it jacked and tan. So I don't mind, man. I think I look good as is. It's okay. And yeah, next question. Opinion on barefoot squats and deadlifts. Very good, very good. I wanted to do this for years, but the gym's like, I'm not going to be barefoot there, but at home, because it's all me, you know, it's nice and clean as well, ish. I go barefoot. I'll do barefoot exercises, and it feels fantastic. Like it feels really, really good. It's just like everything is the way it should be. Now, in regards to like being in the gym and maybe being with socks and doing deadlifts like that, awesome stuff. It decreases the range of motion just a little bit, just a tiny, tiny amount, because the shoes do elevate you. So you might get better leverages for that. For squats, some guys will, if you don't have the best ankle mobility, it might not be the best thing. So I would still wear your shoes for squats, but for deadlifts, yeah, it's good stuff. But that said, man, if you're able to be 100% barefoot, why not? Alex, are you familiar with the pain associated with the aftermath of arm wrestling? I get pain in my elbow, kind of an arthritis feel, and it extends to my shoulder. Should I do band extensions to compromise for this, or do you think there's a form issue? I try to keep my body square with my opponent. Yeah, that's pretty common, my man. First of all, are you training at an arm wrestling gym? Are you sparring on a table? Or is it just like fun arm wrestling? Because there's a big difference between the two. What I would say is that you need to brush up on the form, number one. And then secondly, you need to start doing more mobility work and connective tissue work, all right? Best thing I could recommend, well, you pointed one out, the band extensions. Start doing those on a frequent basis. You'll also want to do a lot of band curls, okay? High volume band curls, reps of 100, even your band push downs. And then I know some arm wrestlers would recommend side pressure training, like where you hook up a band to like a side of a power rack, and you can do all your exercises from there, kind of mimicking the arm wrestling movements. So maybe you can experiment with that. Some guys get pain from it, some don't. But I would say the main thing is that you need to do the band extensions, the band push downs, the band curls, and definitely brush up on the form. How much natural sugar is okay to eat? Well, you said natural sugar, so we're talking about the form of fruits here. From what I've seen, it appears that you can have as much as you want. It's really the processed sugars that cause problem, like the white sugar. Nobody should have that in their household. Like, just don't buy it, period. Even the high fructose corn syrup and most of the stuff that you see in like processed foods, that's what needs to be avoided. But in the forms of fruits, like, you can have some sugar, man. It's not going to be a problem. I wasted the first 3 years of my training always eating in a deficit. In the past year, I've seen more decent growth, but I feel like I can make progress faster. Did I waste my newbie gains? My lifts, 140 for 5 bench, 185 for 5 deadlift, 100 for 5 overhead press. Well, if those are your numbers after 3 years of lifting, you definitely made a lot of mistakes, one of them being the calorie deficit. And I wouldn't be so hard on yourself because these are novice numbers, and you can obviously hit the intermediate stage if you go back to running a properly written system. You did screw up in the past, but hey, the past, it's dead and gone. Don't worry about it. Run a good program right now. Get your diet in check. And you're going to see every week your numbers are going to be increasing. You're not going to be at this anymore, I'm telling you. Like in no time flat, you'll be squatting 2 plates. Easy. Don't worry about it. Like these numbers will improve drastically. Doesn't matter that you've been training for 3 years. It wasn't a proper 3-year time frame. Like if a guy says, hey, I've been training for 10 years, but he's still a novice lifter, doesn't matter if he's been training for 10 years. The fact is the numbers are still subpar. And you can still milk linear gains. Most gym bros are novices. That's just a fact. So don't worry about it. What's done is done. Now it's time to start training correctly, eating correctly, and you're going to blast through these numbers in no time flat. 5x5 versus 3x5. Will a 3x5 program add muscle mass to beginner? 100% it will. Some say like it's equally as effective to a 5x5 if you're a beginner. Maybe like a 10, 20% difference. In my opinion, the difference is not that significant. So yes, it absolutely works for beginners. Now beyond that point, I like them both, and I use both systems very regularly. Usually I'll do the 3 sets of 5 on my intensity days, like right after my main press. Then the 5x5s, I'll do that on my volume days. So it's actually a really good way to contrast. That said, you could still do 5x5 on intensity workouts, but I generally prefer 3x5 for that purpose, because 5x5 is 25 total repetitions. It goes great on volume days. It really does. Whether you're beginner, intermediate, advanced, it's all good. How much sleep do you recommend? I'm a night owl high school student, meaning I get about 5 hours of sleep a night, sometimes less, sometimes a little more. Also, would you recommend naps? Well, in your case, I would recommend naps if you're only getting 5 hours of sleep. It will help you, I'm telling you, because 5 hours is subpar. It's not optimal, okay? It's not optimal for health. It's not optimal for building muscle and strength. But this is your situation. All right, I understand. So do some type of nap if you can. All right, maybe if you're taking the bus to go to school, you can nap on that very quickly. Now, in regards to how much sleep I recommend, at least 7 hours. 7 to 9 hours will be best for most individuals. That said, you can probably get away with 6. You'd probably be okay with that. But we're talking about optimal gains here, right? So minimum 7 hours, 7 to 9, that's a pretty good range. I've been running a push-pull legs twice a week program for the last couple of months. Do you think I should switch to a full body workout program? Do you think you should switch to a full body program? Ask yourself. Be honest with yourself. Why are you asking me this? I don't know anything about your programming. I don't know anything about you. It's almost like you want me to confirm what you're actually thinking. It seems to me like you're interested in the full body workout and you'd like to give it a shot, right? So try it out. Or maybe you're just uncertain. You want to know, like, will I get better gains off it? Bro, run the program that you feel you'll prefer. If you enjoy the push-pull legs, keep doing it. Now that said, do I recommend a full body? Yeah, I love full body workouts. That's my preferred way of training. And my second line of defense would be an upper lower. Okay, so I like upper lowers and full body workouts. Push-pull legs, I'm not a huge fan of, okay, but some guys do well with it, all right? So if that's you, I mean, look, you're still getting twice a week muscle protein synthesis. It is inconvenient in the way that you're in the gym 6 days a week for that, but whatever. If that's what you like, be my guest. But that said, just think about this. I'm doing full body workouts twice a week, and I'm getting the same muscle protein synthesis as you. You're in the gym 6 days a week. See the difference? I get the same muscle protein synthesis, plus I get the GPP workouts, 2 extra GPP workouts. And then the recovery, bro. Like, I get a freaking Wednesday to recover and the entire weekend. How much rest are you getting training 6 days a week? Got to factor that in. Plus, I'm saving time. So, I mean, you do what you want. Push-pull legs, I'm not a huge fan of it. I prefer full body. But do what you want. Are high rep lunges enough to grow big legs? I'm currently doing a lot of GPP work. Yep, absolutely. Lunges will put on serious mass on your legs. And actually, I had a guy ask me, Alex, can you make a video talking about building massive legs without squats? Well, lunges would definitely be on that list, 100%. I would include all the variations. Walking barbell lunges, walking dumbbell lunges, reverse barbell lunge, reverse dumbbell lunge. I would even throw in the Bulgarian split squats into that equation. Just doing high repetition lunges with your body weight, jumping lunges, lunges with a sandbag. Like, there's so many great variations that exist, and you can manipulate the sets, reps, percentages in such a large amount that, like, there's endless possibilities. Like, you can get some great legs with lunges, 100% guaranteed. Are you using minoxidil for your hair? No, I am not. I did use minoxidil a long time ago for my beard. That was 14 months. I had some patchy areas, it filled in, and I'm grateful for that. But I've been off it for a while, man, and I have no plans on using it for my head hair. Like, I'm done with that stuff. It was really annoying to put it on twice a day, every day. Like, I'm just fed up with it, and honestly, I don't need it for my hair. I can grow my hair just fine. Like, I'll show you all around, okay? I still have that little spot here, the little cowlick. I've had that since I was a kid. The hairline has been the same for years. It doesn't seem to be going back any further, so I have no plans on using it. And even if it did go back, and I started, like, balding like crazy and losing all my hair, whatever. But that said, I do apply oils to my hair. Okay, I've become a freaking fanatic with oils. I have so many oils, it's unreal. I have rosemary oil, peppermint oil, lavender oil. eucalyptus oil, cedarwood oil, MU oil, castor oil, like, bro, jojoba oil. I have so many oils, bro, and I'll use that on my beard. Like, I have different combinations. I have different head formulas. I even have a derma roller. I originally bought derma roller to use on my beard. I tried multiple times trying to fill this area. Never did anything. But now I just use it on my head hair. Like, I'll just apply it near the hairline area just for prevention, just in case, you know. So I'll put that on, followed by the MU oil and then all my other stuff. So I do use a lot of oils, right? Maybe twice a week, I'll do like a hair mask thing. So that's all that I do for my hair. I promise you that I'm not using minoxidil. If I did, I would be honest about it. And for those asking me, will you be on Propecia? Hell no. Absolutely not. I will never do that. Based off my research, it appears to be like a 5% risk of developing permanent erectile dysfunction. Too high of a risk for me. Way too high. There's things that I've witnessed in my life which were like 1% chance of having, and it went through. So I'm not risking a 5%. No way. No way, no way, no way. I don't care. I don't care how low the percent is. I'm not risking that. Just won't do it. So yeah, I went a bit off topic there, but next question. Hi Alex, where can I buy the oil that you use for your beard? I lived in Europe. Well, I'm pretty sure you can get that off Amazon, right? Amazon caters to a lot of different areas, and you can just buy all the ingredients separately. That's what I do. I buy all the ingredients. I fuse them together into my amber vials, and I got beard oil. So watch my video, the DIY beard oil tutorial. Click on my links, all right? It is an affiliate link, by the way, so I'll get a few cents. But click on that and see if they have the European version. But I think it should sell. You know, in worst case, you could just get your stuff off eBay. I'm growing a beard and my hair just like you, but because of laziness. And my family and some friends want me to shave. I've been called homeless and shipwreck, lol. I really don't know if I should just cut my hair and get over with it. Well, what are the reasons for you having a beard? You said you're doing it because you're lazy. Well, then maybe you should shave it off, man. Like, if it's just laziness, then get rid of it, right? If you don't want it. But if the beard is something beyond that, like if the beard has become a part of your identity and it's something that you really cherish and you're now the bearded man, well, then you should not shave it off for anyone. Like, plain and simple, like, you have to keep that on. So you have to be growing out your beard for the right reasons. No one has the right to tell you to get rid of your beard. It's yours, man. It would be like telling your wife to cut off her hair. And I totally understand where you're coming from. I've been called homeless as well. I've had people in real life make terrorist comments, homeless comments, bum comments. Like, I've heard a lot of things, man, especially when you go out at night because the beard looks darker. It's like, I understand, but you can't get rid of it for anyone. Like, it really has to be for you. If you grow out your beard for you and only you, no one else, then it will be there to stay no matter what anyone says, no matter how much negativity you receive. The beard will be there to stay. All right, you have to be growing it out for the right reasons. If it's what you really, really want, nobody can make you shave it off. Impossible, because it's yours and you're not getting rid of it. All right, so that's my little advice for you, man. Grow it out for the right reasons and take things from there. All right. I want to look like a model. How should I train? Well, it depends what type of model you're referring to. I'm going to assume you're referring to like some basic model. Just, well, first of all, have the right features for it. That's very important. But secondly, just get really, really lean. And then you get your hairstyles on point too. You're grooming correctly. You'll probably have the model look. You just have to be very lean for the most part and have a little bit of muscle. I would even say a calisthenics routine will give you those model bodies. They're really not that big in most cases. So training like a gymnast, you know, just doing high volume push-ups and pull-ups and dips, you'll probably get that look. All right, you got to have the leanness down. There's a height component as well, the facial features, the hairstyles. So a lot of it will be genetics, but most of it is just going to be getting lean and putting on a little bit of muscle mass, all right? I would even say running my novice program for 6 months and then getting lean will give you the look. So yeah, last question of the week. A bit off topic, but Alex, you have really clean and nice skin. Do you have any regular skincare routine? Well, I think I'm going to make a video on this, man. I think it's time. I've been getting a lot of requests over this over many months now, so I will make a video talking about everything. But know this, right? It'll include a lot of diet advice in there because I think that's one of the key things. And also understanding that when your body is healthy, period, you're going to have nice skin. I don't really use any special products, if you will. I do incorporate oils into my routine, like essential oils and all that. But it's a lot more simple than you think. So I will be making a video on this. Stay tuned. I think it'll help out a lot of guys who have skin problems. So with that said, hope you enjoyed the Q&A video. There were some off-topic questions at the end, some fitness questions at the beginning. I thought it was interesting. I thought it was great. Post some more down below, all right? Remember, like, I'm just answering your questions. You're the ones writing these questions, so make it interesting for me, and I'll keep doing my best to help you out, all right? So talk to you next week.